finished Oldham Athletic 2, Altrincham 2 at Boundary Park in front of over 7,000 at Oldham Athletic. And we're talking to Altrincham manager Phil Parkinson. Phil, same score as last year, very different game.
Yeah, I felt it was a far more even game this time. I know we come back last year with some phenomenal individual goals. Maxi Oyedele's being the pick out. But this time I felt we were really robust defensively. Weren't anywhere near our attacking best, if I'm honest with you. But again, you've got to give a lot of credit to Oldham for that, like at our place, where I felt we were more fluid. Here, I felt they reduced us to very little. And that's where you have to be efficient, attacking and defending your box. And I felt we did that really well. We rode our luck in the opening 12 minutes. They'll be disappointed they've not gone in the lead with some really good chances for them. But we've had that where we haven't took a chances, so I'm not going to dwell on that too much. They've not took their moments, but for us, we took ours. Probably with the penalty, the refs called it. I can't see what's happened there. Obviously, it looks like the lads, as he slid in, he's handled the ball in the box, rightly or wrongly. I'd be aggrieved if that went the other way. But I've said all the way through, you make your look in this game, and the way our lads played today, away at Boundary Park against a very strong Oldham outfit with a new manager who's obviously going to change things here, raise standards, expectations, is a great result today.
Three very good goals. Apart from the penalty, our first goal, Chris Clark's done ever so well, and Justin Amaluzo's a lovely cushioned header.
Yeah, it was, and you know what, before the game I was talking about types of balls into the box with Justin, and that wasn't one of them. So he's done ever so well to head that. That's not something you would say Justin's great at, but he's done very, very well with that and got us up and running with that goal. But the play was good, and you look at how the game's gone. It's taken crosses into the box to unpick both teams. Sorry, not to unpick both teams. That was the only way a team was going to get undone today, I felt. We defended our box really well, and it's took a wonder strike for them to salvage something from the game.
Because of the suspension to Isaac Marriott, we've had to reassess things and possibly played a different shape than we would have done otherwise.
Absolutely, and you've got to be adaptable, and I think that's something we've done really well this time. So we put in the extra defender, knowing that we didn't have Isaac's sort of strike rate with tackles, recovery runs, as well as Banco did in there for us. That's something that Isaac and Elliot really complement each other on. Elliot's very, very comfortable with the ball and improved all aspects of his game this season, and Isaac's that ball-winning midfielder that every team needs. So to lose him was a massive blow for us because he's been so good over the last couple of weeks.
Still fifth in the National League with a 2-week break now. Got to be pleased with that position at this stage of the season.
Got to be delighted, haven't you? But I was just speaking to somebody on an earlier interview, and I was talking about how we've got to sort of change expectations and mentalities and how close we are to being that team that everyone wants us to be. But you just come to these places and you realise how far you've got to go with infrastructures at the football club. I think we're getting loads of things right on the pitch and off the pitch, by the way. But you just look at this and it's like another level, isn't it? Just looking across the way there at the Joe Royal stand, how many fans were here today? 7,000 fans. We've got to really have a long, hard look at how far we've come and be, as you said, be delighted with that. But I really want us to push on. I really want to change that, where we're just happy to come here and get a point. My final address to the players in the change room was a simple question: are you happy with that? And there was a really mixed response in terms of yes and no for different reasons. In terms of we haven't been at our attacking best and probably haven't created loads, but we've defended probably the most comfortable we've looked in the second half defensively. Without posing enough of an attacking threat. So frustrated, not disappointed that we haven't took all 3 points, because I don't think that would have been fair on Oldham's performance, but frustrated the fact that we couldn't see it out at the end, in terms of it's taken an absolute wonder strike to undo us and take them. Then it feels like 2 points drop rather than a point gain, but it's quite conflicting for me to say that. We've come in here, the size of their club, the size of their fan base, the history of them in the league, the history of us in non-league. It just shows how far we've come and how close we are to being that team that everybody wants us to be, the ones that the team that people would refer back to the glory days, where we are always in the top 3. We are always pushing for promotion, and I'm desperate for us to be there. And I'm just trying to gauge how close we are and what we've got to do. And that's something it's got to be ongoing all the way through the season.
We really frustrated them in the second half. It was a very disciplined performance that the crowd were really getting on their back because they wanted to get the ball forward, which happens to us at our place. But when you got 7,000 behind you, it's a bit different.
No, it is different, and that's what I mean in terms of weight of expectation. We've got that because we're very close to our fan base. Where you can see what the lads do. They're going into schools. We're very immersed with our community, I feel, and again there's loads more we can do with that, but I feel that's one thing we're really good at. So when our fans get after us or scrutinise us, it's probably a bit more personal. Here it's the weight of the sheer volume of voices, the sheer volume of pressure, the expectation of where they've been, and that's what you're up against, and that probably gives them an extra 5-10%, and that's what you have to match. And I didn't feel we did that in the opening exchanges, but then when we grew into the game and we got our goal and we looked comfortable, then we got a penalty, we go 2-1 up. And it looked like we were going to see the game out. Not that I felt that it was all us, but I felt we defended what they had really well. And as I said, it took an absolute worldie of a strike from Sheeran to undo us there. But fair play to them, they kept going, and it was probably a fair result on the day.
And would you expect Oldham to improve from here till the end of the season? They're probably going to be in the playoffs is the likely outcome. And so are we at this stage.
Well, yeah, so that's something we've got to aspire to be. But I said last season, I've said it every season we've been in here, we've just got to improve on what we did last year. Now, people might think, oh, he's playing it down. At some point, we will have a drop. We've lost Isaac Marriott today. That's a massive blow. I said if we lose too many, it'll become very difficult for us. You look at the size of the squads in this division, and the top teams are able to have almost 2 in every position of equal quality. And that takes a lot of money and a lot of backing and a lot of finance. So we've got to realise that there might be a period where we have that. Hopefully we don't. Hopefully we're very lucky and we get through the whole season. But ultimately, they're the little bridges we've got to sort of build to close them gaps. But absolutely, when you talk about playoffs, it's something that we aspire to be in. And when we are there every single season is when we've done everything that we spoke about in this interview. We've got closer to everything we're trying to achieve. And I feel we've had a good season so far, but I'm certainly not going to get carried away because I know how a couple of bad results can flip everything on its head. It only takes a good run of form for people to end up coming into the playoffs, and we've just got to keep one eye on that. So this next 2 weeks will be really important, that the intensity of training, the work rate, the commitment from the players is absolutely spot on, and that's something I've got to keep an eye on and manage.
And also the 2-week break gives us a chance to rehabilitate players who will have knocks and bruises, which every team has, and of course allow us to bring in our players who are close to regaining fitness. Another 2 weeks, great time opportunity.
Definitely, that's how we've got to look at this break. Replenish, refocus, make sure that we're absolutely ready going into that next run of fixtures, because it's going to be tough.